Hi, welcome to Carol's Coaching Corner. I am your host, Carol. Thanks for stopping by and chilling with us here on Carol's Coaching Corner. This channel is all about building a community where we can discuss topics that we can relate to and share our opinions. This is a safe space that's a true vibe. So stay with us and let's enjoy the vibe. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Um, Thank you so much for joining me today on Sunday Talks with Carol. I appreciate it. I will be your host, and we will have two guests joining us today. Uh, so, we're going to be discussing obligations of an ex or obligations of a partner. And this is a conversation that I'd like you all to join in and share your opinions. This is a safe space. This is a judgment-free zone. So you are free to speak your opinions. And we're going to all be respectful of one another's opinions. I'm happy to be here. How's your week going? Good afternoon, nice. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, Jasmine, how you doing today? Yeah, holla. That's right. Uh, so uh, I'm just happy to be here today. Happy to be alive. We made it through another week. And we are going to, like I said, we're going to talk about the obligations of an ex. Some of these conversations may get a little controversial because everybody has opinions on some of the topics that I'm going to be discussing today. So without further ado, hey, twin status, good afternoon, good afternoon. So we're going to get started today on time. And again, like I said, please feel free to join in the conversation. Don't be shy. You're behind the scenes, so don't be shy. Just get in there and say whatever you want to discuss. Also, I'm going to ask you to hit that live button on the way in. Remember, the live button is the like button, not live. The like button is important because it sends a message to YouTube and it lets YouTube know that we're here so that we can have people join in on the discussion for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the guests that we have today. Like I said, we have two guests that are going to be on the show today, and they're going to be sharing their opinion on the topic, and we have both a male and female perspective. So this should be quite interesting today. Quite interesting, I will say. So the first person that I'm going to bring on is I'm going to bring on Superman. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to introduce Superman to the panel. Hey, Superman, how you doing today? I can't hear you, Superman. Can't hear you. No. Okay, let me check something on the back here. Okay, we're going to come back to you. Stay right there. I'm going to introduce the next person on the panel. Superman clears up his technical difficulties. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the next person, who is Ms. Audrey Rose. So we're going to bring her onto the panel. Hey, Ms. Audrey Rose, how's it going?
It's going. I'm ready for y'all
Okay,
to.
okay. Welcome to Sunday's Talks with Carol. Superman, how you doing over there? Let me see if we can hear you. You can hear us, but we can't hear you. Okay, so let me check one more thing and see. No, your mic isn't muted, so you should be good to go. So we'll see what you can work on your end. I'm going to remove you and bring you right back, okay? Okay, how's that going? We still can't hear you. So try to set up your mic and let's see what happens, okay? But in the meantime, we are going to welcome Ms. Audrey Rose, and Superman's going to get his technicalities worked out, okay? Welcome, Miss Audrey Rose, to Carol's Coaching Corner, and this is Sunday's Talks with Carol. Okay, so first I want to see who we have here. Who else has come in? Okay, so I have welcomed you guys, and I do thank you for coming on the panel and coming in pretty early. I appreciate those of you that are in the comments. Okay, Miss Audrey Rose, Nice said hello to you. And Nice has also said hello to Superman. Can you hear me, Clarence? Superman, can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you a little bit. It's very faint, though. It's very faint on my end. Can anybody in the chat hear Superman speaking? Okay, it's coming.
Hello?
There
Can you
we
hear
go.
me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much. We got that situated. So let's welcome Superman to the panel. Okay, so listen up, everybody. The first topic that we are going to talk about or explore. Hello, MTGV Crime Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. So, the first topic that we're going to talk about, like I said, we're going to talk about the obligations of an ex versus partnerships. And the first topic, I want to give you a scenario, and I want your honest opinions on how you feel about this scenario. Okay, so let's suppose that you have an ex, right? This is your ex-husband, and you have had a. Oh, you're welcome, MTGV. You're very welcome. So let's suppose that you have an ex, and you had a child with this ex, but y'all separated. Let's say you separated two years ago, and you have a child by the ex, and you've moved on, and you have another relationship going on. So in that new relationship, you have, let's say you have one or two children in that new relationship. Now, the ex came and picked up the child that you two have together, and when it was time for him to bring the child back, he brought the child back with let's say, a plate of Chinese food. He didn't bring anything for the other two children in the household. How do we feel about that? Do we feel that that's appropriate, or should he have brought something for the children in the house? He knows that there are two of the children in the house. Should he have brought food for those children as well? What do you think? Do you think it was selfish of him to just bring for his child? What do you think? How would you react, Miss Audrey Rose, as a mother? How would you respond to that? Because all three of these are your children. And Superman, how would you react if you were the ex? How would you feel about that? Do you feel like you should bring food for your child as well as the other children in the house? Let's talk about it a little bit.
Well, for
That's
me, as a
no.
mom, can you guys hear me or am I echoing?
I can hear you.
I can hear
Okay.
fine.
To be quite honest, any human being, whether it's the mom or a dad that would do that, is a bit selfish, right? Self-centered. Regardless of the fact that the other kids aren't yours, they all stay in the same household, right? So if you come with a bag of chips, you can't come with a 25-cent bag of chips. You just don't bring no chips at all. If you can't bring for all, don't bring for none. Or feed them before you get to the house, so that, because the other kids don't understand, right? They're looking at you like, well, what happened to us? They have nothing to do with the other underlying situations that may have led you to make that decision, as poor as it is. No, you don't bring no food here if you don't bring it for everybody. And that includes me. I might want to eat too. That part.
And that part, uh, Superman, how do you feel about that? Hi, Shakita.
Hey,
I feel that
Shakita.
Audrey just told her age. Because I ain't seen a bag of chips for 25 cents in about 50
You know
years.
what? You know what, Clarence? I'm not playing with you today.
Yo, 25-cent bag of chips. Wow.
Boy.
And
I
Nice
don't know. I
says
think I
that
think it's deeper than that because the young people of today, I don't think they think. They don't think. Like if you're gonna feed your child outside the house because it's the same thing that we went through during slavery. It's like the house nigga and the field nigga. The house nigga got treated better than the field. So the other kids are not gonna like my son because my son gets treated better than they do. If I bring in if I'm bringing them in with food with McDonald's or something, first of all, the mother shouldn't be feeding the kid no McDonald's anyway. The mother should be feeding them. But you gotta, as a parent, you gotta think better than that. Like if you're gonna feed your son and only your kid, you should feed your kid outside the house. As far as clothing and things like that, you got to bring that in the house. But it's up to the discretion because everything I do for my son, that lets the mother be able to do for her other children. So so if I'm buying my kid Jordans, that means you should be able to take your money and put a little extra few dollars and treat your other two kids a little bit better or spend more. That frees up some money for you to do for more for your other two children. But I'm not responsible for you doing for your other two children by somebody else. I want to be a good parent to my son, and I don't feel like it's um it's selfish to be a good father to my kid. But I don't want my kid to to have his siblings mad at him because of what I do for him. You know,
well,
and
take points well taken. And I can see it from both points of view, from both sides. I can absolutely see it. Nice says that she feels it's absolutely selfish. and that she agrees with you, Miss Audrey Rose. Hey, Denise Foreman, how are we today? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, I appreciate it. And Shakita says she agrees. Shakita, which point were you agreeing with? Now, what I want to add to that, because this was my thought process as both of you were speaking, is that I think it's a delicate line, and you have to be very careful of crossing it, because remember, the partner, the newer partner, the person that this woman is in a relationship now with, they have a partner in that house. So if they have a partner in that household, do you want to run the risk of now that partner mistreating your child or not giving to your child when they give to their children? Do you want to run that risk? I'd say let's keep the peace all the way around. Now, I agree with you on the food is one thing, clothing is another thing. I don't feel like the ex has an obligation to buy clothing for the children. I don't think he has an obligation to do that either. Shakita is saying it's not, do for your own, and if you choose to, then it's your choice. Okay. And also, Shakita says you, but it's not something that you should be obligated to do. And I get that these things that we would do by choice. This isn't something that you would expect someone to be forced to do, but definitely by choice. And NTGV also agrees and says that food and clothing are different. They're two different situations, and I definitely agree on. uh, Anybody else have something to add to that? And I'm sorry if I cut you off, Superman, but go ahead and continue with your thought.
Selfish is a strong word, but food and clothing to me are both the same, because no parent wants one kid to wear Jordans and the other kid's wearing something that's not comparable to Jordans. You want your kids to be equally rounded. Like one, I don't know what parent would want that, but um, clothing is very important. So I figure the more I do for mines, the more you have to do for your others. But I'm not responsible for you taking care of your other children. That was a choice that you made. Now, if you have a man in your house, my child support, my money can be used how the parent sees fit. If you got to feed your other kids with my child support, then that's the way you see fit to feed them. But but I would not want to bring my child in the house with food for himself and nothing for nobody else. That's just, it's tacky. For me, it's tactless, and it shouldn't be done. You
But
know.
I got to mess with you, Mr. Clarence, on that point. If you
Yes.
look at it
Can't
from
wait.
when you look at it from a deeper perspective, I'm the ex-husband or one of the baby daddies, right?
Mhm.
I can afford to buy my kid 3, 4 pairs of Jordans any day of the week, but I know the financial situation of the household is not going to allow her to do that. So having a moral compass at some point, I don't have to, but being a person of character, I would choose to say, you know what? No, I'm not going to buy all the kids Jordans, but I'm like, I'll leave these over here. When you come over here, this is for you. That's that's just a balancing act as a parent, because what's going on in this household financially, yeah, it's not really, you don't really have privy to that, right? But you kind of sort of do. And it also goes down to the relationship between you and the other parent, right? Sometimes those relationships end very nasty. Sometimes they are very mutual, and you are lucky you get a good ex-husband, and he's cool, and he's of a high moral character. When he comes, he brings something for everybody. When he comes, even though the other two kids aren't his, maybe if they were in the picture when he came along, they have some type of a bond, right? And they kept that bond. And he goes, listen, I'm coming to get all y'all X, Y, Z. He don't have to do it, but a high value man, a moral character would do that. But again, it's not something that the mom should expect, right? These are conversations. If it gets to the point where you feel that your kids are being left out, you have to have a conversation with them and say, listen, when you come here, please, please, please don't do that. Don't make my kids fin against each other, right? Because that's not fair. Because I got to be left in this house with them, not you. You come to get your one little picnic, you're going to go on about your business. So I just think it depends on the character of a man. Because a real good man, whether he break it with you or not, he had one kid by you or those other three, when he was there, those are all his kids. It depends on the relationship that was either intact or not. You can't really, you can't do that. Some people are very lucky. They have great relationships with their ex. And the ex come, when all the kids see him, they go, hey. I mean, they're not going to go home, daddy. And then they go, oh, so-and-so was here. And it's like happy times. He may take them on with him and bring them back in an hour or so. But I absolutely think we got to be more careful who we have these kids by. Because
I believe that too.
It wasn't worth the damn when you laid down, and it wasn't worth the damn when you got up. So, and this is what we get left with. Our kids.
But when you're a man and you decide that you want to take on a woman with 3 children, you take the package. It's the package deal. But me as a father of one of those children, I don't have no relationship with you. So I don't have that package. I don't want that package deal. I got my own family to deal with. I don't have that package. I don't want that package deal.
Not now.
So for you to say that if you're a good guy and of good moral standards and principles, I think personally they made a cereal named after that statement. It's called Cocoa Puffs. You cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. like what I do, every little bit that I do is a little bit that you don't have to do as the parent. So you can take your money, the little extras. You don't have to buy my kid. I'm giving you child support and I'm buying my kid clothes. So you don't have to buy my kid. You don't have to put my kid in your clothing budget. So you can do more for your 2. So I'm still helping you there. So accept that. And that's what it is. If my son is on a visit, if my son says he wants to do something for his mother, his brothers and sisters, or whatever, then I'm going to give my son a little extra budget money and say, here, you can do something for you. Whatever you see when we out, whatever you see, then you can pick it up. It's okay. But I'm not going to be taking care of your family. If your lights go out in your house, that's your new boo's obligation to cut them lights back on. Even though my child is going to suffer also, they all going to be in the dark. But it's not my responsibility to have your lights cut back on. It's not my responsibility to pay your rent when you got a whole man living in here.
Well, let's take
you got a whole man living in your house.
Let's take the
it's the decisions that you make.
Let's take the man out of the equation, right? I'm a single mom. When you met me, I had 2 kids. You got with me, we got 3 now, and you got 1 by me, right? Things go left.
Hold up. We got the scenario. We're getting the scenario wrong. So the ex in this case had 1 child by her. They separated, and then she had someone else and had children by her new partner. So the ex doesn't really have a relationship with the new kids per se, because that was a relationship that came after their relationship.
Oh,
so
that's different.
Right. So let's make sure we have the scenario right. But let me get to some of these comments, guys, and then we'll keep going. I like the conversation. I like where we're going, and I agree with some of the things that both of you said. I see the perspective on them. So Shakita says, so in other words, there's no right or wrong. It's per situation status of your relationship with the mother and the other children. And that I totally agree with. Absolutely. And welcome, Rats Pups. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. And so Rats Pups says it's selfish because you will create animosity between siblings. And let me just say this, because in a lot of cases you absolutely will, but I think we have to look at children as individuals. So it could very well affect one child and not affect the other children, or the other children may not care about Jordans. They may be happy with Converses. So, we just, each situation is different. But, again, I think that rather than even take that chance, that we do need to create a situation that works well. Even, in my opinion, even if the ex called the mother ahead of time and said, listen, I'm stopping to get such and such for our child. And do you want me to pick up something for the other children? Cash at me and I'll do that. I mean, there's ways to create an environment that isn't filled with hostility and animosity, just by being really good people, and just being respectful of each other's positions. And I know it's difficult, and that's where Shakita's comment comes in, because it depends on the situation that you have. uh, and yeah, I get what you're saying, MTGV, that um food for one is not cool. And I agree with that. I can't imagine. And even if you know how kids are, even if you just fed, the kids just ate. If one child comes in with some street food, everybody's going to want that street food. And I don't think that we should neglect food from children. I don't believe that. But each scenario is different. Uh, hey, Sharon Reed, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining the show. Glad to have you here. And Sharon says, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Um, and Nice says, what about the mothers who expect them to do for all the kids? And listen, I think a mother can have their own expectations. You can expect what you want, doesn't mean you're going to get them. But um, well, how do you guys feel about that? What about the mothers who expect them to do for all the kids?
That's an unrealistic expectation, right? Because again, it goes down to the choices. It's my choice. You can expect what you want. And depending on the circumstances, if you ask me for help, running a little short on money for the rent or whatever, and I got it and I can and I want to, I will. But you can't back me into a corner as a man, as a mom, and make me feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? Because again, what Clarence is saying, I'm obligated to the one I help create, right? If I can, and I'm in a given mood, and I'm really and you're really pressed and you really need it, and I'm your last choice, I'm not going to sit here and be that cruel of a person. I'm talking about if I was a man and a mother asked me that. I'm like, I don't have to. And it's like, I know it probably took a lot for her to ask me. But then again, probably what Nice is saying, you have some women, they just press you because, what about, what about, what about, what about, what about? And I'm like, but what about? Like, you got to budget your money on your own. But for me, if I could do it, if I could do it, I would, but I wouldn't feel pressed to do so. I wouldn't want her to come at me crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, with a guilt trip. Like Clarence said, you do what you can for yours, and if you choose to, then that is an option that has to stay open without guilt or repercussions of other things. Because then you know what happens. Oh, well, I need this and that. And if you don't give me this, you can't do that. No. It has to be a clear choice, free of guilt. If you can, you can. If you don't, you won't. And I mean,
I believe that. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I speak?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I believe that if my son's mother has a new man, how would he feel if every time you turn around, your your ex has to come and bail your family out? As a man, that would make me feel like, yo, wow. It would make me feel less than a man that I can't financially take care of my family. Every time the lights get, every time we get a disconnection note, you got to run to your baby daddy. You got to, every time the rent is due, you got to run to your baby daddy. That would make me feel horrible as a man. Like I can't. I took on this responsibility, but I can't handle it. Like every time I turn around, you run into. So now that might put in his head that every time you walk out that door, you're going to repay this debt. Like I mean, it brings like chaos in a household. Like yeah, I think that um a man has to feel like a man, whether he's the breadwinner or not. He has to feel like a man. So that in itself is bringing problems in the house. So I believe that I truly believe that I'm giving you child support. I'm giving you child support, and I'm buying my child's clothes. That frees up money for you. So you can take my child support and do you can split it between all your children. You can pay your rent with it. You can pay your light bill with it. But everything, like I said, I'm gonna repeat this. Every little thing that I do is helping you financially. So you should be able to like like you should be able to manage. You should be able to manage. So
But we
you can't
don't
ask
know.
me for no more than what I'm doing. And I don't mind paying for the kid's schooling. I don't mind paying for his clothes. I don't mind paying, but I'm not going to bring food in the house for. I wouldn't eat food in front of my company and guests and don't have nothing to offer nobody else. That's
Mhm.
that's that's low to me. So yeah, if I'm gonna be out with my kid on a visit, then my child is gonna eat in the street. And whatever your mother got for you to eat in the house, it's your choice whether you want to eat it, or if you're full, don't eat it. That's up to you. But I'm never going to bring in a plate of food for my son and nothing for nobody else. That just is is
Right.
is it's tacky. It's tacky.
And
So
I
yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. Let's get into some of these comments. Sharon Reed says you should never let one kid feel less than, and that's part of what I think that's where the emotions come in, is because nobody wants any children to feel less than. I think it would a conversation would need to be
Mm.
had with the ex and see if we can get on the same page, because it may be a situation where the ex may not even be thinking that far ahead. He may just be thinking about, oh, let me get my kids something to eat. He may not even think that far. So sometimes we can't assume a person is doing something intentionally. Maybe that person hadn't even thought about it, even though I would think about it. That's just who I am. So, but I do agree, with a lot of the points that are being made. Nice says he's definitely not obligated to take care of other children unless they are married. And I mean, I don't know about that, because I think that sometimes we got to look at the human nature of things, but that's something that we're going to talk about, because I mean, helping out, I mean, buying children some fast food is has nothing to do with a legal obligation. It's really a choice. It really is a choice. So, that's where I'm at with that one. Hey, Shiny. Glad to have you join us. Appreciate you coming. Thanks for stopping by. Now, what if she doesn't have a man? Do you cut the lights on for your kid? That's a question. Let's talk about it.
Of course.
What
I mean, it's
triggers
common sense. Like I
Mhm.
don't get it. Like it's common sense. Like you bring your kid. Kids are cruel. They don't understand. So you bring your kid in with a McDonald's burger and your kid playing with the other kids like this. Big Mac, Big Mac. That's gonna get his behind kicked. Someday they're gonna be jealous of him because his father does more than the other fathers, or he just happened to have and nobody else has. Like if you're good, if you're a if you're a mature child, then you may share with your brothers and sisters. But most kids is going, I got something you don't have, and that's going to bring like problems with the siblings. Now, if she don't have a man and she's doing it by herself, then out of my heart, because what affects you affects my child. So yeah, I'll pay your rent. I'll help with your rent, but you got to manage your money a little better. Don't think I could. I'm gonna pay your rent all the time, pay my mortgage all the time, and 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 everything that I give to you is taken away from what I can do for my son on a personal level. So I think it's just common sense not to bring food for one and nothing for the others. You know, I just believe it's common sense. It just it's cruel. It's cruel, and you're putting your child in danger because you're bringing jealousy between him and his siblings. So I don't think that. I don't know. I'm trying to hold my passion about this and speak and articulate well, but I really want to just go crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those topics where, you know, it hits you there because you start thinking about your own childhood, your own experiences, and as a parent, we're always going to think about our children first, their feelings. So it's a topic we discussed, and a lot of times our emotions are based on our own feelings as a child. So, we don't want to, those of you that know anything about me know that I advocate for children. And I would never, ever see a child uh, be negated of food. Absolutely not. Shakita says she'll be disappointed every time because of her expectations. However, that is cause for a conversation, an adult conversation about the necessary expectations and responsibilities. And I agree absolutely that this is about adults adulting and having a conversation and not making any assumptions. Because, like I said, maybe the dad didn't even, the ex, maybe he didn't even think about, I should bring something for the other children. He was so focused on his child at that moment. Maybe he didn't think about it. But I, as the mom, I'm going to bring it to your attention so that it doesn't happen again. And I may just ask you to go back out and could you please just pick up something for the other children? Or I would have to probably DoorDash something. But we also have to be careful. Kids have to know that they can't have everything that, someone else has. So we have to be careful with that also.
I wouldn't,
Um,
I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I wouldn't even I wouldn't even blame the mother if she took the food from the kid, from the kid. My house, my rules. So no, if you didn't bring enough for one, you don't bring enough. If you didn't bring enough for everybody, you don't. If you're gonna feed them out there. Don't let them come in here with that. Like whatever sneakers or clothes or school uniforms you bring them, okay, I understand that. So now I don't have to spend that $200 on his uniform. I can take that $200 and split it between my other two kids. Now they could get an extra uniform apiece. You know, every little bit helps. But as far as food goes, yeah, like my house, my rules. Like if you didn't bring enough for the other two kids, I don't care about me. I mean, I'm saying as a woman, I don't care about me. But if you didn't bring enough for the other two kids, then don't bring no food in here for no one. Like, and that to me, I don't understand it, but it is common sense. Like he didn't think about it. Like, what is there to think about? You know? Sit if you're gonna do that, sit your kid in a Chinese restaurant and let him eat there. Or sit your kid in the car and let him eat in the car. Or sit your kid in McDonald's and let him eat in McDonald's. But you don't bring him home like that. You just
And
I think it's common sense.
I agree with that, that there is a way to get around it if you just definitely don't want to bring food for other people's children. Welcome, Kay Adams. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. So, what we're going to do, hey, Joy, good to have you on the other side today. Good to have you. And hello, Kia Adams. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And Shiny Linton says not every man has the guilt of a woman looking to another man. Some men are okay with it. Okay, so let's move forward a little bit, and I want to talk about uh I want to talk about married or not married. Uh, I want to talk about because in today's society, people are really focusing on cohabitating with each other and not committing to the sanctity of marriage. So I want to talk about that a little bit, and does that how do we why at this point in society do we choose to get married, and why do we choose not to get married, and what are the benefits of being married as opposed to cohabitating? Because there are a, in my not in my opinion, just from knowledge, there are benefits to being married over cohabitating with a partner. There are legal ramifications when you're not married to a partner, and you choose to cohabitate. Also, in marriage, it provides a better situation for both the husband and the wife in the event that there's a breakup. There are laws and legalities that protect both when you're married that you don't get when you're cohabitating. When it's time for a breakup and you're married, in most states, everything is 50-50. But if you're just cohabitating, there's no legalities there. It's like, okay, well, you bought this, you take this, or whatever. But once you're married, it's just considered community property. Whatever I bring in the house belongs to both of us and vice versa. And a lot of people don't look into that. They just look into the fact that we're living together as husband and wife, but there is clearly a difference. How do we feel about that? Do we think that cohabitating is the way to go today, or do we think that marriage is still an important and valuable commodity in today's society?
Ladies first.
Well, thank you. Um, at this point in my life, my answer is a little different than it was when I was younger. At this stage in my life, I have done a lot of things on my own. I've accomplished a lot. I would have accomplished it probably quicker if I had a partner. But right now, I can't see myself. I just don't want to. I mean, I see both sides of it. I can live with you, but my whole thing is like, that's the whole point of marriage, right? Being a united team, right? Yes, you can still be a team from afar. And you know the old adage, why buy the milk or what, however we go for free? It's like it still stands. It's like, okay, I have invested 29 years of my life with you for free. We break up. We bought a house, two houses. We got all this stuff. Oh, but we're not married. Oh, now wait a minute. So I look at marriage as not only a binding contract, because once you are married, oh, you can say whatever you want to say on Monday and Tuesday, but I bet you'll be here on Wednesday. When you're not married and they act up and show the food, and you're like, well, I'm leaving. I'm taking my TV. Oh, and what can you do? Call the police and go, I got the receipts and he bought this. No, when you're married, I think, because I've never been married, but I have some of my married friends on here. Miss Kay Adams, Miss Shakita Jones. Okay. They are married. They've been she's been married for a very long time. So I think that marriage, of course, like a friendship, it has its ups and downs, but I still believe in marriage. I still do. I see people, I'm like, oh my gosh, she got married. She's 71 years old. But it's never too late for your happy. Now, when you are a little bit older and you're established, marriage means something different. When you're younger, you're building, right? 1 + 1 = 2. You get there a little bit quicker. When you're by yourself, you can still do it. May take you a little bit longer, depending on your financial situation. Become a homeowner, single parent, you do what you do. But I would tell you, I would think that it would be easier and more fruitful to be married and work towards a common goal. Now, sometimes you may not marry the right person the first time around. Keep doing it till you get it right. Elizabeth Taylor married the same man 2 or 3 times. But I still believe in marriage. I still like the benefits of marriage. But when you get older, marriage, you don't need it as much as you first thought that you did. When you're younger, sometimes people get married too quick and much younger, and they need to figure things out. Sometimes people get married middle age, and they've learned, they've lived a little bit of life now. So they come into the marriage like, yeah, I'm ready. Sometimes you get married too quickly, and it falls apart. So I'm like, I still believe in marriage. I still know the benefits of marriage. It's not just community property. I just think once you're invested and you're locked in, it's not that easy just to walk away. You think about it, it's cheaper to keep her. You're like, yeah, we may have an argument or two, but we married. And this is comes with the territory. You work harder. You'll work harder to keep what you have accomplished. Accomplishments on a team, being on part of a team, I still find merit in that. I really do. But that's just me. And I am going to be married before I leave this realm. That's going to be that's on my bucket list. So I'm open to marriage. Joy said no to marriage.
Joy said no to
Joy said
marriage.
no to marriage.
Joy
I
said
say
no to
yes.
marriage.
I
And
say
Nice said whoever is married will say yes, whoever isn't will say no. Well, I'm not married anymore, but I still say yes to marriage. I still say yes to marriage. I believe that for those of us that have married and are no longer married, you hope to have gained some knowledge and learned something from the fact that the marriage didn't survive. So hopefully you would be better the second time around because you've learned some things. And a lot of people, like you say, get married very young and they don't have the tools that they need to sustain that marriage. Some people are really putting the work, and I applaud those that put that work in, because it's not an easy thing. But let's talk about the benefits of marriage. Let's talk about that. Clarence, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Who was Clarence? I see Superman down here. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, it
I,
disappeared. So, Superman.
I'm 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 great on some of those points, but as I get older, I'm 63 and I've never been married, but I took pride in the fact that I said I pay all the bills. I've been in committed relationships, and I took pride in the fact saying, uh, I can pay all the bills. I can pay the mortgage. I can pay the rent. I can pay the light bill. I can pay the everything. I want my queen to feel like a queen. I want her to know what it feels like to live like a queen. I took pride in that. But as I get older, I understand a little bit more how the young people feel. And older women, I don't want to say older women, mature women who have had to do it all by themselves love the idea of not having to do it all by themselves. They are willing to take a 50-50 financial responsibility on uh, things in the house, things in the home. Some people don't even marry for love. Some people marry because they know that marriage is a corporation. We both are here to make each other's life comfortable. So if I only have to pay half the mortgage and you only have to pay half the mortgage, we can save the other half of the mortgage in our own personal bank accounts. So we don't have to hit the ground without a parachute. We always had that parachute that I mean, if you with somebody who understands that. You got like I've been with women who all they want is Gucci, Louis, Prada, and they take every dime they got and spend it on Gucci, Louis, Prada. Every little spare dime that they get, they putting it into some designer stuff. And then you have some mature women who say, "I want a nest egg. There's going to come a day when I'm not going to want to work no more, and I need something to fall back on." So they save their money, you know. So I'm understanding a little bit more that marriage is a business. Like if you can help me, I can help you. One hand wash the other, both hands wash the back. So let's do this corporation thing. It doesn't take anything from me as a man to have my queen pay half the bills. Because I'm still, if you ever had to pay all the bills in your life, you would be more than happy to have somebody to come in and pay half the bills. You know, so I'm um I'm 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 evolving as a man who understands that that macho stuff because I was there at one time and every relationship I wasn't, oh, that's my TV, that's my lamp, that's my refrigerator. I wasn't like that. I walked away with nothing. So every time that a relationship didn't work out for me, I started from the ground. I started when I built this house. I didn't have a knife or a fork. I didn't have a bed to sleep on. I built this from the ground and put everything in there from the ground. But I had furnished a whole house. I had done repairs in a whole house that I left. And I'm not going to walk around talking about, oh, I bought this, I bought that, I'm not going to do that. So it in a relationship, in a marriage, it's a corporation. We both supposed to be doing good. We both supposed to we both supposed to be pushing each other up financially, mentally, physically, whatever. And and I believe that when you find a mate, they're supposed to be your best friend. Like you in relationships for me, you don't know people until maybe 2, 3 years later. You don't know who they are. They send a representative to meet you. So they all nice and kind and everything. But down the road, like you gotta get somebody that's on the same page as you. Like at 63, I'm me and my wife supposed to have matching helicopters with chrome blades on it outside. We supposed to have Bentleys in the driveway. We supposed to have everything because we helped each other get things. It can't be no one person saying, "Oh, I did everything for you." We both have to help each other in that corporation. So
I to understand that you are agreeing to marriage? Do you think it's better to marry or cohabitate?
I believe that if you're gonna marry, you should marry going in it with the idea that she's here to help me and I'm here to help her. I'm not here
So
to be
one,
a burden on you. I'm not here for you to be a burden on me. Like a lot of marriages I hear, like when they break up, the man is beating the woman up, the woman beating the man up, the man is caught, like the man is trying to buy a hitman to kill his wife. The woman is trying to find a hitman to kill her husband. But y'all loved each other at one point, and y'all drove each other to the point where you want to take each other's lives. Like, yo, you have to understand that is this is a corporation. Let's get this corporation in the Fortune 500 company. Let's get this joint right. Let's help each other. And I don't want to talk mostly about money, but money gives you the freedom to afford the life that you want.
and that was my
Money gives you the freedom to say, oh, I don't feel like going to work today. And if they take my today's pay, it's okay because I'm sitting on money in the bank. I don't have to
one,
wait to the first. I'm not check to check. I don't have to wait for the first to pay my bills. I can pay my bills anytime I want. I'm not drowning in credit card debt. I'm not drowning in a car debt. I'm not drowning in a mortgage because I got my corporation fulfilling his share and I got mine. So it should
so
make each other's life
basically
easier.
so you're saying that one of the benefits of marriage would be finances. That's one
I'm
of the benefits of
saying
marriage.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so moving forward, I see that Renaya Lee has joined us, and I do want to thank you so much for stopping by because I'm sure there's something else you could have done and you chose to be here. So I'm happy to see that you are here. Uh, and I do. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up because it's already 5 o'clock, and as I told you guys, I really don't want to hold you too
No, I want to
long
talk some more.
because it's Sunday. It is Sunday, and I know some people have dinner on. Some people want to get to football. Um, some people were just coming home from church. So we're not going to keep this up too much longer. We're about to wrap it up. But I just want to make some points. If you have not hit the like button on your way in, please go out and hit that like button because it helps the channel. It really helps the channel. By letting YouTube know that we're here, and it will spread the channel out to other people. So we would have more people in the chat, more opinions, and therefore at the end of the day, gather some more information. So please remember to hit that like. It is one way to support me, and it does not cost you a thing. So for others that want to support the channel, my PayPal is $ the coach approach. And by providing donations to the channel, you help you help me to get the channel a little better. I can buy a little bit better equipment to help us with lighting, help us with some of those mic issues like we had in the beginning. So donating to the Cash App, donating to the channel helps in that way. So I want to just remind everybody that every Sunday at 4 p.m. we will be here. And I understand some people yelled at me because it is football time, but I don't watch football. I'm not a football fan. So Sunday at 4 works really well for me. And just remember that you can always support the channel by watching the replay. So you can always at any time go on, watch that replay, hit that like button, and comment your opinion, because I do go back and read the comments on the replay. Yes, Superman.
Can we do if anybody that's in this section and in on this live now, if you have a topic that you want to speak about, can they text you and put that topic in your thing and speak about that?
Yes, so you can go to, I don't have my Instagram listed, but it is Carol's Coaching Corner. You can go to my Instagram and DM me, or you can send an email to me, which is probably the best way to reach me. Send an email to Carol's Coaching Corner at gmail.com. And definitely, this topic was given to me by a supporter that asked to discuss this. And so this is why we are discussing this today. This channel is about building a community where we can share our opinions and thoughts on topics that we want to hear about and share with each other. So absolutely, you are the community. So you tell me what you would like. I want to show you and discuss the content that you are interested in. If not, then there's no purpose to be here. So please feel free to send me an email about any topic that you would like to discuss. If you want to be a guest on the show, please reach out to me and say, listen, I would like to be a guest on the show. And I would like to discuss this topic. And if we can, I'll definitely get it scheduled for you for that particular Sunday. Okay. And again, if you have questions, email me. Feel free to email me. I'm available. This is what I do. So once again, I want to thank everybody. I think we had a great conversation. I love the fact that everyone was respectful of one another, and that we were able to share our opinions and ideas without cat fighting through the screen. And I really enjoy that, this community. I do. So I want to thank both Superman and Miss Audrey Rose for being here. I do want to thank you both. So again, I will see you all next Sunday. My email address, I'll say it again. For those of you that didn't get it, it is cowscoachingcorner@gmail.com. Okay. So just know that you can reach me there. That's the best way to reach me. Okay, so I hope to see you all back here next Sunday at 4 p.m. Time doesn't change, the day doesn't change. So it will be every Sunday at 4 p.m. So I hope to see you all here next week. I haven't come up with the topic for next week, so I'm going to depend on some of you guys to send me some ideas that we can talk about. Okay, so thank you all once again. I appreciate you for being here, and I will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.